Hello friends, welcome to my channel again. I am Bijay Lohar, and with this session I am starting our first Cisco lab practical. As you can see here, I am using this application, that is Cisco Packet Tracer student version. Um, this is the most common application used for the Cisco practicals, and all the practical you can do with this application. This is a very well known application here, and we are going to start with this application. So first of all, I'll see you what if you are newer in this application. For this application, you can see here there are the multiple options. Just see, as you can see here, there are multiple devices we can use, that like routers, hubs, switches, hubs, and wireless devices, and connection is the is the cable or method, connectivity method we can use to connect its devices. And there are the terminals devices, which is computers. We can use normal computer or laptop or servers or generic device or IP phones or much more. And there are much more other devices available for you for the advanced practicals. But in this session we are going to see how to configure a basic router. Like I am selecting this option, that is router, and I am just picking up this 2600 series router here. Just drag it up, and another is here. So we have added two router for the practical, and we are going to configure both router, and we'll check it out whether the both router is connecting with each other and they are routing the packet from one network to another network. So what we have to do here is, first of all, let's see what are the physical interface which is connected with this router or this router. So if you double click on this router, you can see that this is the physical view of your virtual router. You can zoom in, and as you can see here, it's a 2600 series router and having Ethernet port and control port as well as auxiliary port. And as you can see here, just a green LED which denotes that your router is right now switched on, and this is the power cable. And there is no serial interface or WIC interface, as you can see here, but there is the interface which is for add-on card. We can select WIC card from here. These are the modules which we can add with this router. So we are going to add a WIC card. So I'm just switching up. Just before adding any module, you will have to switch up your router. Just click on that, and you can find here there is an option of WIC 1T. So I'm just dragging it and leave it here, and now a new serial interface is added with your router, so that your first router can connect with the second router with the serial port. So I'm going to switch it on, and now I'll go to the router. So close it, and as you can see here, even this router not having any serial ports, even because both router are the same module. That's why both router containing by default Ethernet port, control port and auxiliary port, and we need to add a WIC port. So I have just switched it up and added a WIC 1T connection. So switch it on again. Yes. So now we our both router is having serial port as well as Ethernet port for the LAN connection. So what we have to do here is, first of all, we are going to connect a switch with our router, like this router and this router, and both router will connect to different network with each other. So first of all, we will have to see this switch. As you can see here, this is the switch having 24 ports, and the switch is this one, and it's also having same number of ports. So what we have to do here is, we'll have to select some wires or connection method, that is this one. Just let me show you again. Just click on this connection option, and as you can see here, that straight line that denotes the copper straight through cable. So just pick it up and connect your first interface of your switch with your LAN interface or Ethernet interface of your router, and do it same with another router. First port of switch with the default fast Ethernet port of router. Now the second thing we will do here is, just to verify whether the connection is working properly or not, we'll use a single computer right now. You can easily drag it accordingly whenever you required, and just connecting. As you can see here, there are 24 port of your switch, and I'm going to connect this straight through cable. As you can see here, there is only one fast Ethernet interface in your computer, and that will going to be 2. As you can see here, there is no 0/1 port, as that port is used by the router connection. So as you can see here, this denotes that it's an initializing situation, as you can see here, and this is the down network. That red LED denotes that you are the interface is not activated right now. But when you connected your computer, as you can see here, your interface of computer is enabled, and the switch interface is just going to be enabled, that is in initialization situation. So I'm going to do same with the another router, and I'm going to connect this router with the switch computer. Sorry, this is a computer. I'm going to connect this with the fast interface. As you can see here, we have two different network, and as we have defined router as router device are capable of connecting or forwarding IP packet with two different network. So just assume that this is the network, like 192. This router, this switch is 192.168. like 10.1 10.0/24, and this is the network for 172.16.0.0/24 or 16. Okay, these two different network are here, and that is 192.168.10.0 is a class C network, and there is 172.16.0.0/16 is the another network, and router going to connect this both network. So what we see here, before doing anything, just let's see what's computer is having here. As you can see here, even the computer is switched on. You can switch on or off from this button. And what else, this computer containing, as you can see here, IP configuration. You can configure your IP for the desktop computer from here, whether it will be from DHCP or from statically assigned. And this is the most important part for your network practicals. So what we have to do here is just close it right now, and we are going to connect this router using when we are using serial cable or serial interface for the router, we will use serial interface, like as you can see here, this is serial DCE. Just pick it up and connect your serial port with another serial port, and this is a very basic router configuration. So we are not going to add any device. We will configure with this system, this lab. So what we have to do here is we will have to assign IP address for the computer first. So what IP address I'm going to use is like go to desktop, and you can see here there is the IP configuration section, and I'm going 192.168.10.2. I'm not assigning 1 because I'll assign that IP address for the default gateway that will be here. The router interface, LAN interface, will be the default gateway. So I have given 192.168.10.1 and the default gateway will be 192.168.10.1, and I am going to assign this address with router. So you just don't bother about this IP address. I have just configured the IP address of system, and I am assigning this computer IP address, so that 172.16.0.2, even in this side 172.16.0.1 will be the default gateway for our computer. So we have configured our desktop for the LAN computer. Even if you want to try for the LAN computer, you can add another computer here. You can use your straight through cable, you can use your Ethernet port to connect with the switch, and there is the third port which is empty right now, and we are going to configure IP address 192.168.10.3, and the default gateway for this computer will be 192.168.10.1. For both computers, the default gateway will be the same. And even I'm adding another computer here for 172 network and connecting with straight through cable with the switch port number 3, and I'm going to assign 172.172.16.0.3, 172.16.0.1. okay, now let's verify whether the LAN computers are working properly and connected with each other. You can get it command prompt from here and just ping it, ping 192.168.10.1. there is no one IP address as assigned till now, so I'm going to connect with another computer, that is 2, and as you can see here, we are getting a reply from this computer. So our computer is connected in LAN, and if I verify if the another side 172.16.0.2, let's wait for some time, sometimes it takes times. I think there is some mistake for assigning IP address. Let's verify whether the IP address is configured properly. So 172.16, sorry, it must be 16. And now if I verify the connection using same command, as you can see here, we are getting reply from this computer. So our both computer, our both LAN is working properly. But if we try to access this device or another side computer, we will not be able to connect. So ping 172.16.0.2. as you can see here, we are not getting reply because router is not configured yet, and router is not able to forward an IP packet. Even router is not getting request from this computer as the router is not configured yet. So first of all, we will have to configure. We have done all pre-requirements of our LAN. We just have to configure our both router. So what we have to do here is, you can easily double click on this device and you can get here your CLI, that is command line interface. And as you can see here, there is something like whenever the physical router boots, that dialog box appears here. Even this application provide you the same. If you switch it on and just switch it on again, you can see here your router is booting. So continue with the configuration dialog box, yes or no. Just I am pressing Ctrl C button so that I'll configure manually. So as you boot your router, first interface you get is router greater than sign, which is called user execution mode, because now you can execute some commands here. So what command you can use here? Some basic command, only to view command like show IP interface brief. You can use this command to verify what interface is there with your router. So as you can see here, there is the interface fast Ethernet 0 and serial 0 is there, and there is not configured unassigned IP address. Okay, yes, method unset. Till now we haven't set what method it will use to assign IP address administratively down. So what we have to do here is, so this is called the user execution mode, where you can just view the configuration like so running. You cannot do that. So what we have to do here is just enable it, and you will get router hash prompt, which is called privilege mode. So a part of user execution mode, that is router greater than, you can execute some more extended command here, but you cannot configure anything in this mode, that is called privileged mode. But you can see most of configuration of your router like so running configuration. So as you can see here, so running configuration is the configuration right now running with your router and contained by your RAM. We have already discussed about the component router used for, and we have already discussed about RAM, which contains all the running configuration. So these are the configuration, like you can use this command, so running configuration, and as you press space button, you can see that there is nothing has configured out. Interface is no IP address, shutdown, and there is no routing methods as assigned till now, and all line interface is totally not configured yet. So what we have to do here is so startup, that is startup configuration, that is the configuration which is contained by your NVRAM. Even NVRAM is not containing anything because we haven't saved any configuration right now. So what we have to do here is, first of all, verify to configure your router. Just enable and show IP interface brief, and just verify what's the name of your interface. Like this is serial 0/0 and this is the fast Ethernet 0/0. You must be very careful about the name of your interface, because when you are going to configure your interface, you will have to type exactly the exact name of this interface. So I'm going to verify the IP interface by using command show IP in brief. And now what we have to do here is configure terminal. When you type config t or configure terminal, config t, you will get the global configuration mode. The global configuration mode, you can easily access global configuration mode. First of all, we have seen about user execution mode. Then by enabling user execution mode, we got privileged mode, and now we are at global configuration mode. So in this interface, or in this area, we can configure our all global configuration. Like host name, we can assign host name as R1, whatever name you can use here. And now you can see here your router name is R1 now. So if I exit this, as you can see here, there is no router greater than now, because we have saved our host name. And now enable it, and as you can see here, we are again at the privileged mode. So we are going to configure terminal, config t. You can easily type config t or configure terminal, enter. And what we have to do here is, we will have to configure our Ethernet port first, that is fast Ethernet. So I am going to configure interface fast Ethernet 0/0. You can tab by typing the initial letter like fast, FA tab, and it will complete your sentence or the word. Fast Ethernet 0/0 was our interface. So now as you can see here, first we had router greater than, then router has greater than, that is the privileged mode, and further we had accessed global configuration mode, and now we are at router name config if mode. If mode is the interface mode, so whatever we are configuring here will be applied for the interface. So there are three modes here, that is user execution mode to view some basic configuration, privilege mode to view detailed information of your router but not to configure anything, and global configuration mode, which is used to configure your global settings like router's host name, and the interface mode, which is used to configure your interface. So what we have to configure in our serial fast Ethernet interface, this interface, that is this interface, we have accessed this interface using command prompt. So I am going to assign IP address 192.168.10.1 as we have discussed earlier, and subnet mask will be 255.255.0, and your IP address has set, and to activate your interface just type no shutdown, and as you can see your interface is up now and switch is initializing your interface number 1. So now if we run command, so IP in brief, you can see here your interface is configured with the manual IP address and the status of your fast Ethernet interface is up. So what next we have to do here? We will have to configure our serial interface. So let's see if your internet connection or internet service provider has assigned some IP address to you for your serial interface, or we will use a manual IPS IP, whatever IP address here, ISP's IP address, sorry. So what we have to do here is just to verify, like 135.16.0.1 slash eight 110.16.0.0 slash is the WAN IP address. So we'll have to assign IP address of this network to on both router. So what we have to do here is just click on router as we have already opened here, and we'll have to configure our serial interface. Configure terminal, we'll have to go to global configuration mode, and then interface serial 0/0 was our serial interface name. So what IP address I have to assign here is 10.IP address 10.16.0.1 255.0.0.0, and again to activate no shutdown, and when we have connected with our DC terminal, so we are going to set our clock rate for the synchronization. I am using 64,000 bit. You can double tab here to see what are the options, or you can type question mark. You can use this option to see what are the beat per second to synchronize with other router. So I am just using clock rate 64 bit, okay, and exit and exit. And so what we have done here, first of all we have set our IP router name, that is R1. Further we have set our interface configuration for fast interface, and then serial interface. So we have set clock rate for the serial interface, but not for the Ethernet. Now you can verify your running configuration. So running config, that these are the configuration running with in your RAM. What are they? Just space bar, and as you can see here, IP address 192.168.10.1 has assigned for your fast Ethernet port, this port, and clock rate is set for this one, and serial interface is also configured, and all things is set now. But if we switch it off here right now, your all configuration will be vanished, because that is the running configuration, not saved with the NVRAM. So what we have to do here is, as you can see here, so startup is the NVRAM configuration. As you can see here, there is nothing have saved, all the configuration is currently in running process. So what we have to do here is copy running configuration, that is the RAM configuration, to startup configuration, that is to NVRAM. So we are going to save all configuration we have done till now, and as you can see here, configuration is saving with the file name startup configuration. So let it be, and as you can see here, your router has saved your startup configuration. So you can verify. So startup now, startup configuration, and you can see here there is the host name headset now, and when you click on space, you can see here the IP address is connected. So even if I switched it off and switch on our router, our configuration will be here. Your router is booting again. I have just switched it up. So as you can see here, R1, that is the router name we have set, that is already there, enable. So IP in brief, interface brief, that is brief, and you can see here that even the serial number is containing IP address, but its status is down right now. So we have configured all thing in this router. So what next we have to do here is to configure our second router. I'm going to connect with this. So you don't have to do anything here, like enable, configure terminal, and host name R2, interface fast Ethernet 0x0 for another router, for another side LAN, that is IP address will be 172 dot IP address 172, sorry, IP address 172.16.0.1, that will be the gateway for all systems. I am just assigning IP to this interface, that is here. So subnet mask will be 255.255.0.0. Now what I have to do is to activate no shutdown is the command to activate your interface. As I have pressed enter button, as you can see here, this is green now. So your router interface, that is fast Ethernet, is up now, and what we have to do here is we will have to configure our serial interface, and that is configure interface serial 0x0 of second router, and IP address will be from this WAN address, that is 10.16.10.16.0.2, because we have already assigned IP address 1 to the first router's serial interface 255.0.0.0. No shutdown, and as you can see here, even your serial port is up now. This is the green LED which denotes that your serial port is up now. So we had configured our serial interface in router 1 with clock rate. Clock rate is always applicable for DC terminal or one side of your router, that is the DC terminal. So you don't need to set your clock rate for another interface. So I can just click exit and copy the running configuration to a startup configuration, so that your configuration will be saved for the router. Now we have already tried to connect another computer at this side. This is the 172.16.0.2. I am trying to connect again. Ping 172.16.10.2. As you can see, earlier we used command ping 172.16.0.2. The reply was request time out, but now we are getting reply from this destination host unreachable. So ICMP, that is the ICMP protocol reply, which defines that router is not able to forward IP packet to this network. This request is going to this router and we are till this router, but router is unable to forward packet to this router or this network, because this router doesn't know the best possible route for this network, because it do not have its own IP table till now. So what we have done till now, we have configured our LAN, we have configured our all interface host name for the both sides, but we haven't configured what method router will use to forward an IP packet or to build a routing table. So for this session I am going to show you how we have discussed earlier in our previous video that router can forward IP packet only for those network which is listed in its routing table, and routing table can be statically defined by the router administrator, or it can use routing protocols like RIP version 2, IGRP, EIGRP, OSPF, etc. So I am going to show you how router will connect with how router will build its routing table. In this session, or for our first practical, I will use static method of forwarding IP packet. So let's verify what network router already knows, or what are the network which is already listed with your router. So IP root, and as you can see here, this is for your help, but the important thing is here that this router 1 already knows about 10.0.0/0 network, that is this one, and another is 192.168.10.0 network. So your router knows about these two network, but your router do not knows about 170 network. Same in this router, as you run command show IP root, which is to verify what route is listed in your routing table, and as you can see here, there is only two network this router knows to forward IP packet, that is 10.0.0 network and 172.16.0 network, but this router doesn't know about 170 network, and this router did not know about the 192.168.10.0 network. So what we have to do here for according to manual method, we will have to define both router that there is a network with this IP or with this IP. So I'm going to configure our first router for the static method. So go configure terminal, and IP root is the command. IP root is the command to define static root. So IP root 172.16.0.0 is the network with the subnet mask 255.255.0.0, and it is connected with serial interface 0/0, and administrative distance will be 1. So this is the command which is defining router 1, that 172.16.0.0 network with the subnet mask 255.255.255.0 is connected with serial 1, and it's having 1 as the administrative distance. Administrative distance is the anonymous number which is used to define the trustworthiness of root. And now, as even the same, you can use command 10.16.0.2, 10.16.0.2. This is the next hop address. So to define your static routing, you can use IP root, network address, mask address, exit interface, and the administrative distance. And in other way, you can use command IP root remote network subnet mask and next hop address. Make sure that it's the address of next interface you are connected with, and this is the administrative distance. You can use both any of the command to configure your static root. So now if we use command show IP root, which root we know now, as you can see here, this is the connected network, C for connected network, and there is the C for connected network. 10 dot is connected, 192 is connected, but S, which denote that is the static method of routing, and it is connected directly connected with serial 0/0. So here is the interface connected with this interface. So we will have to do same thing with the second router. So IP root, as you can see here, only two network is connected with this network, that this router, that is 10.0.0.0 and 172.16.0.0. so we will have to manually define that there is another network on the site, that is 192.168.10.0. so what we have to do here is configure terminal IP root 192.168.10.0 /255.255.255.0, which is the remote network subnet mask, and that is directly connected with serial 0/0, and the administrative distance is 1. Even if you want to assign the next hop address, you can use command 10.16.0.1 is the next hop address for this router. So what next we have to do here is just to verify whether your first router is accessing the next router's LAN computers. So I am going to ping it from this here 172.16.0.2. that must be this computer. Yes, we are getting reply from this computer. As you can see here, sending package 500 byte ICMP echo request 172.16.0.2, timeout 2 seconds, and we have got all replies, sending 5 and we are getting 5. So this computer is able to connect this computer. Even I will try with this computer if it's accessing 192 network. So what I have to do here is ping 192.168.10.2, that must be this computer. So as you can see here, sending packet 5 and getting 4. We have lost a packet at the very first time, but when I try again, I'll get all packets reply, as you can see here. So what we have to do here is now to verify whether our both different LAN, that is 192 and 172, is connecting or communicating with each other. So ping 172.16. that is 0.2, that is this computer. So I am trying to verify connectivity between this computer and this computer. So let's see, we must get reply, and we are getting reply from other computer. So what we have to do here is, we have already set our configuration before applying routing method, that is static method. So I'll have to copy our running configuration to startup configuration, because it's working properly now at the board, and copy running configuration to startup configuration. So now the both end of your lab, that is 192 network and 172 network, is working properly and communicating with each other, and router is performing as a router, which will define route for your all LAN computers, how to forward an IP packet to another network, because 172 is the another network. So as you I hope you like this video, and because this is a very first practical for the basic users, if you are very in a very starting phase, definitely this video will help you. For more advanced and all configuration of CCNA or Cisco practicals, we will proceed with this application. So keep watching our channel and it will definitely build your Cisco baseline very properly. So at this moment, thank you for watching. Bye bye.